Okay, I don't know why my face isn't there, which is definitely a bit of a shame, but how are you all doing, everybody? I'm gonna see if I can get my webcam back up and running. I hope you're all having an absolutely fantastic evening. This is the ProEU PUBG Mobile Scrims, as you might all know and love. Think I might have it up. Okay, at least you can see me now. How are you all doing? There you go. Let me just try and put this in a position that it's going to be somewhat visible. There you go. Okay, put that, and then I need to remove my background. So there you go. And then when I do go in game as actually no, I'll do that on studio mode, but when I do go into game, you will be able to see my face, hopefully. Yeah, so this is the ProEU PUBG Mobile Scrims. Yeah, we have teams from the semi-finals of the PUBG Mobile Scrims. Sorry, just doing this. What the hell? This is so weird. Video. Okay. Trying to fix this before we get into game. Okay, that should be okay. That should be okay. Let's leave it at that, shall we? Let's leave it at that, shall we? Yeah, so these are scrims for semi-finalists of the PUBG Mobile PMCO and full split. Now, I don't have a graphic for you guys, so I'm just gonna have to read out the name of the teams. So we have Godsend, we have the Sirens, we have Team Push, Inside Games, Red Reserve, 4 Romanian Men, Yakuza, Gun, MVP Gaming, Omega Dragons, Time to Shine, Bloodline, BFF, and we have 2 extra teams. We have Mizexis from Germany and Kunina Power from CIS because I believe the tier 1 series is going on. Some of the teams aren't available, so we have to rope in a German team and a CS team just to help fill it up, pretty much. Pretty much fill it up. So let's get into this this first game of the day. Going to be starting in a wrangle for you boys and girls. I'm just going to turn this music down a bit. And I have to turn the in-game volume up as well. I can just bring it onto this. Put it onto the map. And here we go. So we see a plane path that is generally a bit to the west. Going from south to north. Nothing too crazy indeed. How are you doing, everybody? I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Evening, day, night. Whatever you're doing in this world today. I've personally been a little bit addicted to a game called Spellbreak. I've been a little bit addicted to a game called Spellbreak. It came out a couple of days ago, so me and Max have been playing it quite heavily. But let's see where this plane path is, or where these teams are dropping. MVP going to go into the west. That's their normal drop spot. Omega Dragons going down to Ferry Pier. It's pretty standard stuff for them. Team Push going to move on to military base. No Clay GLA. Is Clay GLA or Atlanta Cycle to drop with them. Bloodline are going to go to Pachinki, which is also standard. With Kunina Power. Kunina Power, I don't exactly know where they drop. So Curious to see where they do go, because unfortunately no Lack Nostra. That does in theory make Rozhawk a free real estate, and it seems like Sirens are going to take advantage of that instead of going up to Severny for game one. BFF gonna split drop between school and apartments. Gonzo Kingdom Power also going there. He's gonna be quite far away from the rest of his team, and then Mizexis are gonna be outside Rozhawk. As let me have a look at what is going on here. Just gonna turn the volume down a bit. It's a little bit loud, a little bit loud. Outside of Rozhawk, it's gonna be a little bit tricky. Phase Zone Circle is quite nicely centralized. Nothing really crazy in terms of that phase 1. No heavy water in play. The river could be an element if the phase 2, phase 3 onwards does stick to the west, but otherwise it gives a great scope for teams to rotate around. Raspu is going to get dropped to the floor to begin with, and is going to get confirmed by Time to Shine. Hulls, who formerly Team Umber, join up with Mizexis for the PMCO Germany stage, and he's going to be trying to drive away in the buggy. Because Time to Shine have been able to loot up too heavily, they're not able to go full swave. See what I did there? Full swave onto Hulls. Godsend going in an unusual spot. That is interesting. Normally Godsend will go towards farm, but I think because they know possibly that Kunina Power like to go around the farm area, that they want to avoid Kunina Power. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know how true that is, but if that's the case, that is, considering Kunina Power are in a different region, that's quite intelligent stuff coming out from Godsend. That's only what I can presume. That's only what I can presume. For many men have one member team pushing around this compound. Bobby is normally team push go to Military Island, so it's, or Military Base should I say. So I find it a little bit interesting that they have opted to stay around the Western Bridge. One member gun have been eliminated by Kunina Power in Military. Maybe that's why Godsend didn't go there, you know. But yeah, Herb's down, Outro Mamula that's standing. They didn't start as a 4-man team, they only started as a 3-man team. Inside Games also going somewhere different. Severny. Normally they like to go, normally Inside Games like to go around the shelter prison area. Now, you might think, yeah, well, it makes sense because the plane path was very western. But in any western path for the PMCO, even if the Sirens aren't playing, they didn't go to Severny. So that's why I find it a bit different and interesting. But I also like it, and I kind of respect it. Time to Shine, after getting an early kill on the edge of Rozhawk, have rotated to Mansion, which, when you look at this phase 1, as I lose my voice, is so much space for them to loot, boot, and get suited up for phase 2, phase 3 onwards. I would recommend they could do with sending a scout to one of the compounds, either around Yasnaya or outside Yasnaya, just to get some early information on teams coming in from the east. Because it could be the fact that there's slight caught napping element. Now, Naya is in prison, and that's great, but you really get little to no information in prison. So, him moving out will have to be a little bit careful the longer he leaves it. Omega Dragons, disengaging away from Fairy Pier relatively early, going to move up towards Potato Hill, baby. Always a difficult area to hold on to. You really got to know how to control it. MVP now rotating early on. MVP were one of the standout teams when it comes to consistency of the PMCO EU group stage. I think it was like pretty much every single day they got similar amount of points, and they did capture their first chicken dinner as well, which, you know, says something big to me on how they can perform at this stage. You know, it's all well and good being consistent, and it's something I'll always champion. Consistency is key. But being able to close out Chicken Dinner is also quite valuable. Now, Sirens and Godsend, they're going to clash together under rotation coming into circle. Yatum along with Luna. Going to go towards that compounds. Shoot up towards Godsend. Are Godsend going to crash? Or Godsend going to stay on top of the hill? I think Godsend are going to stay on top of the hill for now. So Godsend have the high ground. Sirens have the compound. You have the trading of the two areas. Of course, Godsend can move to that small building quite close by, which is always quite valuable. I would recommend sending 2 members to that compound from Godsend, or even 3, and leave Zuku up on the high ground just to be that line of sight. No Reeves playing in the Godsend team. Zuku, who's a sub, I believe, is gonna be coming into the fold, and I think that's good, right? Playing your sub in scrims is quite important. Godsend had a great performance in the PMCO, finishing the top of the standings with 199 points. Something that did trigger my boy Maxman, not the 200 points minus 1, as I like to say. So yeah, playing Zuku does make sense. Sirens disengaging away from Rozhawk. They did it a little bit later than Godsend, because Godsend were north of the river. Team Push have a player knocked down at the hands of that is, I don't know who they are. I'm gonna have to try and find out. Okay, I don't know who Team 3. Oh! Okay. It's Polar Ace. So Team 3 are Polar Ace. I was like, because they didn't look at the name of the players first, I was just kind of like, PA? I saw the PAM first. And I was like, Pam? I was like, Polar Ace. Of course, Polar Ace, former Noisy Boys, they got picked up by the org Polar Ace for the PMCO. They left it a little bit too late to change it for the group stage, but now for the semi-finals, they of course changed their name, but they haven't changed their playstyle. Ultra aggressive, getting a nice clean knockdown and kill onto a member of Team Push. CLW, definitely a very talented player for his side, but not enough when you have the whole of Polar Ace compounding in onto your area, and that's going to be the end of Team Push. Sirens, did Sirens just take down Godsend? Did Sirens just take down Godsend and survive? Yes, they did. The push from Godsend, and I think Sirens will be a little bit sad that I missed that, and Godsend will be a little bit happy that I missed that. So yeah, Godsend losing out on game 1 of the scrims at the fight against Sirens. Nicely done by the female team. Much practice for them coming into the PMCO. Of course, we know Godsend won't exactly be taking these scrims ultra seriously, so you know they're gonna push for these kind of engagements that they wouldn't normally do in PMCO unless the proper opportunity arose. Red Reserve rotating for North Georgia round the north of Yasnaya, coming in on the northwest side of the northeast side of the map, which is just so intelligent. I don't think they should go to I don't think they should stay in Mansion, but at least go into Mansion to get a solid bit of information for about 30-40 seconds on where some teams might be, and possibly go over to the logging area. But maybe staying in Mansion could be quite clever. It could be risky. We'll have to see how it works for them. 4 Romanian men are going to be sandwiched up by Kunina Power for now. Still 51 players, 14 teams up in this game as we hit the 10-11 minute mark. Oh, Amethyst just raiding for 34 viewers. Much love, my friend. Thank you so much. Whoa, hola. ¿Cómo está, everybody? Welcome to the stream. There is a 3-minute delay, so you won't hear these thank yous for 3 minutes, but I have put it in the chat. Much love to you all. How are you doing, Amethyst? ¿Cómo está? Dennis from 4 Romania, man. Ay, caramba. Andle, Reba. Nice knockdown coming down onto Gonzo from Kanina Power. The grenades proven to be quite powerful, but this is the sandwich that is going against 4 Romanian men. Dennis getting knocked to his knees inside that building on his own while the revive is being executed onto Gonzo. Nicely done by Robadini. Of course, Kanina Power, 3rd place in the PUBG Mobile World League West. They should, in theory, have the better of this team fight, but Red Reserve in the sidelines could be looking to third party. Victor onto Tixie. That's what has happened across the way. And Gonzo by Victor. Victor. What a player with that DP28. Confirming the kill onto Kanina Power. Nicely done indeed. Tixie will most likely get revived up, but is this the opportunity for 4 Romanian men to strike? I understand why they haven't moved out from this building because of Robadini behind them. However, I kind of don't get why they haven't looked to really take advantage of the opportunity off the back of Victor getting that knockdown on and the kill onto Gonzo. Definitely think that's a bit weird, but right now they're staying where they are. They threw the smokes out. The revive did get, of course, executed onto Tixie. And now Robadini is flanking around. He's not really getting looked at by Red Reserve, so he can't focus much of his attention as Frost. Okay, that's a bit of a risky play on your own, my friend. And that's where Kanina Power have definitely gotten great information. A couple of grenades being thrown out. Frost goes inside to the building, making sure he's not getting angled by Robadini. Robadini's waiting to strike, and then he does indeed, getting a knockdown onto Novas, confirming that kill. I don't know why Red Reserve haven't pushed it as a full squad. Kalissa, Victor, Frosta, and Novas, you gotta make those calls as a team. Or at least push in 2 minimum at a time. Novas came in late. Red Reserve now have to disengage. They still have the risk, although Victor sending a couple of shots towards Robinini to try and stop that knockdown coming through, and indeed it has. All the while 4 Romanian men, the 2 remaining players, are still inside this building, hopefully waiting for the perfect time to strike. Blue Zone is closing on phase 2. We've seen Inside Games taking a little bit of damage. I think they have been eliminated. Let me have a look. Am I right in saying that Inside Games have been taken out? I kind of thought so on the kill feed. Feels bad, man, indeed. Okay. Okay, just messaging Orin goes Kanina Power onto 4 Romanian men. Gets that kill onto that's gonna leave just Bam left standing. 1v2 as the members go inside that building. Let's over to Bam. Bam's gonna get the drop shot. He's gonna get taken out, and now in come Polar Ace, the third party this on the southern edge of the circle. Whiskey knocked down, but we'll get revived up. Great play by Savage X. Elusive is in the back line. Elusive is, of course, Agon, with that name change of him as a player, and of course Polar Ace, the former Noisy Boys, got picked up by the org Polar Ace. This is crazy. Kanina Power, this is the compound where, the majority of the fights have happened. Incredible stuff. Now, Red Reserve could still play around. This is something I have to be aware of. Sirens, I need to pan on over right to a different fight. With all due respect, I need to pan on over. The Sirens looking in the directions of Yakuza. Yakuza did get a kill on the Yatem of Sirens. I'm just gonna... Oh no. I made a boo-boo. Give me 2 seconds. There you go. I went to volume and instead of changing the volume, I rotated. gun third party in Yakuza. Good job from them. That gives a little bit more space for Sirens to move about. They are out in the open, but it is a pretty solid place where they are, especially because it's mid-circle. They'll just have to be aware of any potential shots coming from MVP, even Bloodline up high down in the southwest. You have Omega Dragons getting close to Polar Ace. Red Reserve did move away from the compound they were in to a more central position. You have the warehouse where nobody, or Walmart should I call it, where nobody has moved on to. Time to Shine could go there, but right now they've got into that compound to the south of Yasnaya, which is around that hill area, so they could get shots onto BFF. It's great that they have Swave on that off angle just to try and get some more information. It's simple, but it's very valuable. Rogers are playing around the shelter area. It's kind of in the open, but it's enough of a protected area where they can move underground, and they're really gonna avoid a lot of action. And because it's quite close to the center of the circle, it should work out for them in the next phase. We have 12 teams left, 38 players. All of them, as far as I know, are inside the circle. All 38 players, all 12 teams. Waiting for the next phase to pop up, and I think that's where we will see some real action start to begin. Yeah, I thought that's Omega Dragons onto Polar Ace. That shift to the east. Warehouse Walmart is in play, along with the compound held onto gun. Now, Red Reserve need to make a decision. If they know that gun are there, now they don't necessarily know how many players are there, but they know there's at least one team. When you're on the south edge of the circle, up on kind of the general high ground of where they are, it might be a clever idea. Bit of a risk, but could be, of course, high reward. Just push in full send onto a compound of the three-man team. They don't have their normal IGL K-Last playing, and I think that's a strong idea because it means they're just getting practice for, you know, different scenarios, different situations. But Ace of Kanina Power coming in behind. Could be looking for the perfect shots onto Red Reserve. This is the risk that Red Reserve face being out in the open, and they should be aware that with the circle shifting up north and where Kanina Power were is going to be close behind them. Kalissa gets a couple of shots at him from Acer. Not enough to confirm the knock. Bloodline onto BFF. Bloodline, where are you? Bloodline. Oh, Bloodline onto BFF. I think they've taken out a couple of members of BFF, and we do have MVP coming into the fight against Yakuza out in the open, getting that knockdown. Now it's just gonna leave one member up standing. Actually, it's not Yakuza. It's Omega Dragons. My apologies. Omega Dragons. One member left for their side. Sebi inside the shack. You also have Aces of BFF inside that shack. MVP are taking over. 3 kills so far in this game. Sirens on the road. That's a bit of a risk, but I think they know Sebi is there. Sebi coming out from behind. He's going to get struck down, though, by Sirens. The Sirens know exactly what they want to do, how they want to play this game. They will look to get the revive off the heels coming through as they try to stay alive in this game. Time to Shine. Move away from the north side position. They have Kapahala Bloodline in play, but Kapahala takes a lot of damage. Chunked down to below half. Swave in his direction. A nice grenade by Naya to confirm that knock. Push that kill. Leave Bloodline as 2 members left standing. Actually, 3 men. Is it 2 or 3? Yeah, it's 2. It's 2 inside those vehicles. Now Yakuza onto Red Reserve. Red Reserve onto Yakuza. 2 kills so far for them. Grenade being fired up. Not connecting just yet. Yakuza moved away from the dip. They went on towards the shelter area. Nice grenade. Actually, nice grenade from Yakuza onto Yakuza. And now Victor pushing in onto the final member of Yakuza. Going underground. Finds him on the stairs. Takes him out as the next phase goes up north. Gunner outside of the circle. You have PA Polar Ace looking to cause a freeze against the other teams. One of them knocked down. Maskoff looking to get revived off. Tixie just being a thorn in the side for Red Reserve around this shelter area, getting a knockdown onto Callista. However, third party for Polar Ace to put Acer down to his knees and down to the ground, 6 foot under, leaving just Tixie left standing. Gun also outside the circle on the southern side. You still have the edge of Walmart in play. Walmart could definitely be an area that you can go if you create the smoke road. Reserve trying to get the revives off. Time is ticking. They've got 10 seconds until the blue zone starts closing in a phase 5. And now Tixie's just going to full send on his own. Will he get spotted out by Polar Ace out in the open as he pushes himself forward? It's going to be Frost. Frost finds Tixie. Frost eliminates Tixie. And Frost gets the better of him. Of course, he's going to take a heavy chunk of damage. Will he be able to execute that first aid? Yes, he will. All the while, Callista out into the open arms of Gun, sending himself off. But Elusive gets a knockdown. Cleaning up on the outskirts of the circle. That's the end of Red Reserve as the side of Polar Ace move in on towards the edge of Walmart. The phase 6 moving down south into Mamula. From Gun, he's the only player inside the circle as of right now, and he's going to try and take advantage of it, knocking down Whiskey. Or was it Whiskey that got knocked down to the play zone? Either way, keeping the pressure on. Kill being confirmed by Mamula as the smokes get thrown out. Elusive, will you be able to chuck a grenade towards Mamula? Definitely wouldn't be a bad idea. Ms. X is still inside this game. 2 players left for them. Peace and Malum. Ha Mamula. Mamula onto Savage X. 1 by 1. He's taking them down. 1 by 1. They're searching for something to kill and blood to spray down. Elusive fires up to blow up that vehicle. He's out in the open. He's still not inside the circle. 20 seconds until the blue zone starts closing in. Time to shine are still shining in this game. High up on the hill, not inside the circle. If they can take down Mazexis, it will create a hell of a lot of space down below. They will have to move down. That's a bit of a risk. Shots fired up by Mazexis. MVP onto Siren. Sirens are still inside this game. Cake's now left standing. Let's see if she can batter up the kills and maybe cause a bit of a dough to MVP with a couple of grenades. Smokes being thrown out. The blue zone's closing in. Very little time. And that's going to be the end of Sirens. 4 teams left. MVP are 4 men strong. Up as a full squad. Time to shine. Move in. Onto the vehicle. Too little, too late. They're going to get spotted by a couple of members around him. Now it's just Naya left standing. It was MVP, I believe. And now with the grenade, that's going to clear out the 2 of 3 members from Time to Shine. MVP taking full control of this game. You have MVP, Gun, and you have Time to Shine. The last 3 teams up in this game. Mamula from Gun has pulled out all the stops in this first scrim game. And as he uses first aid, he's going to be on the south side of the circle on his own. Could he capitalize off on this? That's the question. The man advantage goes over to MVP, and they're certainly looking to utilize that man advantage as a 2v2. Time to Shine gets taken out. Great grenade coming out from MVP. Now it's just 4v1, 1v4. Tika's going to find Mamula. That's going to be the chicken dinner. And that's going to be MVP. Following up from, as I said, what was a great PMCO group stage performance from them. And kicking things off in these scrims with a juicy chicken dinner in a wrangle. Nicely done by them. They took out Omega Dragons, they took out Sirens, they held on to the dip. The circle shifted in their favor. They were not put under too much pressure, and they racked up the kills along the way. 10 in total for them in this game. 1. Let me just kick off a little bit of music. There you go in the background. You have Sided Gun coming in second with 2 kills. Time to Shine in third with 8 kills. Mizexis in fourth with 1 kill. Sirens in 5th with 5 kills. You have Polar Ace in 6th. Of course, Polar Ace, formerly the Noisy Boys, in 6th with 6, 7, 8, 9 kills. Bloodline in 7th with 3 kills. Red Reserve in 8th with 5 kills. Canadian Power in 9th with 6 kills. BFF in 10th with 4 kills. Yakuza in 11th with 1 kill. Omega Dragons in 12th with 0 kills. 4 Romanian Men in 13th with 0 kills. Not really taking advantage of third-party potentials in that compound that they were in, along with the likes of Polar Ace, 4 Romanian Men, Red Reserve. They didn't really try and strike. And, you know, these are scrims. Take the opportunity. Go for it. Inside Games in 14th with 1 kill. Team Push in 15th with 1 kill. And Godsend 16th with 0 kills, being eliminated by Siren. So that was that for game 1 of these PMCO scrims. Great to see a German and CIS team mix in with these EU teams. You know, maybe gives us a little bit of a taste of what might come in the regional finals. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. So yeah, good stuff indeed coming out from these scrims. I'm going to go for a little bit of a break for you guys, but we will be back for game 2 of these EU PMCO scrims. Don't go away. See ya in a sec. Let's get back into the game. Game 2 in the Zenith ProEU PUBG Mobile Scrims. My name is Imperium. We have teams from the semi-final stages of majority EU, but we also have a CIS team of Konina Power, the PMWL team, and we also have a German team of Mizexis. So of course we do still have lots of action to come. This is only game 2 of 4 as we make our way onto the jungle terrain of Sanhok. Playing path, north of the map, going from west to east. Nothing too crazy. One thing that I'd like to try and get set up is with my iPad of being in the lobby and have that as just a pure map feed that I can show in the corner as a zoomed in picture at any point during the game. It would require a little bit of work, but I like to be able to try and do that anyway. But we see MVP going to Hating. Inside games are going to drop a bit towards the northeastern edge of the mainland, with Gun and Mizexis going to Tatmok. Normally, you know, Tatmok is unoccupied by... Actually, no. Gunnar... Oh! Yakuza are going to Cow, Mizexis to Tatmok, and Gun are going to be spread out in between them. That is interesting indeed. Outro, will he be able to find holes? Oh, not quite. Not quite indeed. I don't know if Outro has made enough noise. We'll have to be aware because Peace is further back along with Raspu and Malum. Out in the open, Halls is yet to be spotted. Wow. Interesting stuff. He's waiting, biding his time. He only has a shotgun. He got absolutely nothing. Playing path is phase 1 circle, should I say, very highly northwest. That is very highly northwest. Still could shift down to the southeast, so you have mainland and southwest island in play, but for now, committing yourself to the northwest island, especially around the high mountain area, is definitely going to be quite valuable. BFF are to the east of Paradise Resort, where Polaris did go. It's where they always go. It's where they call their own. Gonna be easy rotation by inside games overall. Of course, they'll have to be aware of any potential firing coming out from the MVP. Might even be worth going across the riverside. Red Reserve landed in Sami, now moving their way across the Tambang. Plenty of space. No scrim farm in these games, so Runes is all clear. Omega Dragons landed on a trifecta, moving across. Konina Power and Painan is where they call their home, and Sirens, as per usual, dropping quite close to each other, but around the quarry area. Bloodline on the east, it's where they like to go as well, around the Kauai, and then Gun onto one of the members of Mizexis, I believe, although Mamula has been taken out. Well, it's 4 Romanian men. Dennis of 4 Romanian men. Wow. Okay, that is interesting. It comes down to at least 1v1 between these two players. Herbs. Dennis with the pre-fire. Now Herb's just waiting and biding his time. Gonna go in. He's gonna get struck down with the shotgun, and that's going to leave Outro on his own for the side of Gun in the early parts of the Sanhok game. He's going to have to snake his way to a good result if that's going to work out for him. Yakuza will have heard those shots, and they're actually going close to Dennis for Romanian man. The last player of Gun, Outro, does get a knockdown, but the teammate of Yakuza, Mido, should I say, confirms the squad wipe, and that's going to be Gun eliminated. First team going out in 16th place. 59 players left, 15 teams. Sirens moving across the boot camp.
Thank you for the follow and welcome to the
landed in boot camp, but they went from boot camp over to Northwest Island early on, and that's why it's so much safer for Sirens to move across, because of the fact that the phase 1 circle is so on the northwest. If it was a bit more in the mainland, it would be a lot riskier. We did see Team Push get a kill onto one of the members of Canadian Power, Tixie, which kind of, not that it makes sense, but that is a bit of risk when they don't necessarily know too much about Team Push. I'd imagine they wouldn't. But Bobby came in on the little tuk-tuk, stopped close by. Gonzo knows where he is. Gonzo's snaking down, waiting. He's on his own, so that of course is a bit riskier for him. Red Reserve have an easy entry point to the Northwest Island. They've hung around the bridge side, moving their way across from Tambang. Omega Dragons MVP on the mountainside area. Omega Dragons moved in from the trifecta line up the hill. 0F's given. Antifa is going to get knocked down. Danny's kind of on his own. A little bit of a separation for now. As Tika is on the other side. Danny trying to feel where the members of Omega Dragons might be. We do see in the feed Acer getting dropped to his knees by the members of Team Push. Not a grenade. Is that going to connect? It's another Molotov trying to push back Antifa. Not quite striking. Another one. That's going to be a third Molotov by Danny. A possible waste. Where are the rest of the members of MVP? Akashi is further back. Where is Senzo? Where is Senzo? That's where I want to know. I don't sense Senzo. Senzo's all the way in Camp Bravo. I don't know what happened there. I think that might have been a bit of a mistake by Senzo. I think that was a bit of a mistake. Maybe he disconnected. Facetio has gone definitely over to the Northwest Islands, who are guaranteed to see a Northwest Island game in this Sandhawk. That's going to be Danny taken out. Nice push by Omega Dragons. Of course, the fact that they were more as a unit was always going to give them an advantage, but they stuck together. They got the revive off, and now they've been pushed away from the mountainside. The Sandhawk Northwest Island Mountain has been overtaken by Omega Dragons. They can plant the Spanish flag on the high ground and say, this is our land, the Latino land, the Spanish home of Sandhawk. Yakuza, Mizexis moved across. Yakuza were further back. Yakuza are in the water. They're going to be put under a lot of pressure. There is peace from the other side. And Yakuza are definitely in a huge spot of trouble. Tynes has been able to make his way across the mainland, but don't go too aggressively forward. Wait for your teammate Ryan. Allow that man power to come through. Raspu is able to get healed up. Tynes is going to get dropped to his knees. Halls pushes forward. Ryan is going to be on his own. He's going to get knocked to the ground by BFF, that third party. That third party shuts down Yakuza's any attempt of taking down Mizexis. Mizexis will be aware of that. That's why they're going to try and avoid BFF as much as possible. Then also we see MVP losing Sendo on that rotation at the hands of 4 Romanian men. That was always going to be tough, but yeah. It's a hard pour to call, but time to shine. Time to shine. And Sirens are going to be fighting. Is that the end of Sirens, though? I do believe so. If I'm not mistaken, Boot Camp have... Yep, Boot Camp has been won over by Time to Shine. I'm a little bit sad I missed that fight once again. But, feels bad, man, for Sirens. Tika of MVP is going to just go down that mountainside and avoid Godsend. Oh, he's still not out of the woods just yet. I like the rotation from Red Reserve wrapping around on the northwest side, or the west side, should I say, of the Northwest Island to come in around Camp Alpha. Now, I wonder how much information they have or don't have. But we'll have to wait and find out. BFF. We saw them take out one of the members of Yakuza. Mizexis are going to be on the north side of the Northwest Island. We do have Team Push, Canadian Power, who have battled against each other. Canadian Power did survive with just Tixie going down. Gonzo, I believe, was able to help get a decent bit of work and push Team Push down to just 3 players. One of them is outside in the blue zone. Talking about the blue zone is closing in. Phase 3 will be showing its face. Polar Ace is getting close to that mountainside. Gonna get close to the side of Omega Dragons and Godsend as they move their way upwards. As a unit, as a team. Omega Dragons and Tifa surely has got to have an idea of what's going on, but he's joining up with the rest of his team, I think, because the rest of his team is looking for inside games. That's JR Crunk gonna push on down. MVP Akashi actually on the backfire, gonna steal that, get that kill stolen away by Broody of Omega Dragons. Can Akashi get spotted out? It's also gonna see Sans Sail get dropped down by Broody. Omega Dragons focusing so much on the north side of this mountain is giving every opportunity for Polar Ace to come in and take control. JR Crunk is going to get knocked down, and Tifa trying to move closer to try and hopefully get the revive. Will he be able to do that? Tika's going to get taken down by Red Reserve. That's going to leave just one player up for MVP. That's Akashi. Prone down, he's outside the circle. That shift on the far west, that is definitely benefited Red Reserve. They will not go to Camp Alpha, and I totally agree with that because it's a very tricky area to hold on to, right? It's the same with Boo Camp. It's very similar to Camp Charlie. You don't really want to be there late game unless you absolutely have to, unless you're forced to go there. Talking about being forced to go there, will Godsend be forced to move down the hill on the next phase along with the likes of Omega Dragons? They might want to send 1 to 2 players down the hill to try and prepare for any circle shift. They could easily go to that compound down there if they played their cards right. Team Push choosing to go across the water, Konina Power going across the bridge. They're kind of both going to be there roughly the same time. All the while, Bloodline Yakuza, Burian got dropped down from Bloodline. You also have a last couple of players of 4 remaining men coming in from the behind area as the Blue Zone pushes its way in on phase 3. Couldn't your offense spot out 4 remaining men? Bama's gonna find Burial Yakuza. Mido does indeed find 4 remaining men. Time to shine, being put under a lot of pressure by Inside Games. This is absolutely wild and crazy. Mido goes down, I think, overall to the Blue Zone. No, it's actually Norfen of Bloodline as Blue Zone does indeed creep its way up. They're going to put a lot of damage onto these teams. It doesn't get any easier past phase 4, I can tell you that much. Godsend is going to send Marley down the hill. We have Reeves playing for this game too, rather than Zuku. And Team Push going their way across to the Northwest Island a little bit earlier than Konina Power. It's slightly paid off. Being able to get knocked down onto one members of Konina Power. Nice grenade being fired up to try and just keep Team pushing this game. Sportsman's going to get revived up by Mario. It is a 2v3 with Robadini in the back line. It's going to make it so much harder for Team Push to disengage. I don't know how many smokes they have, but Ace are onto Sportsman with that grenade. Molotov is going to burn up, and that's going to be the end of Team Push at the hands of Konina Power. They had the sightlines, they had the grenades, they have the accuracy, and Konina Power wipe out Team Push. 11 teams left, 32 players. The circle rotates up northwards with Camp Alpha firmly in the center line. Red Reserve still don't have to move from the compound if they don't have to. And I would even say that they should. Of course, they are getting kind of a lack of information. It's going to be harder should they have to move into Camp Alpha because they'll have to go across the road. But I say stay there. Zexus, BFF, close to each other. In between the rock, you have Aethys on a sniper tower. He doesn't see Peace. Peace is using the pan tactic where you hold it in your hand. You do not get spotted by moving out. And along with Malum snaking their way up, waiting for the perfect time to strike. All the while, the other 2 members of BFF trying to make their way down the hill towards Camp Alpha. That's where it's a little bit harder for these teams up on the northwest side. Aethys along with 2-Pack in the back line. You do have 1 member of BFF Ali inside here, and he's going to get a knockdown onto one of the members of 4 Romanian men. Nicely done as the blue zone is closing in. Godsend on the high ground finds a member of Konina Power. Leaves Robadini on his own. Well, not on his own. Robadini and one other member of Konina Power. They made their way down to half lower ground of that mountainside. So they haven't fully committed, as OBS seems to just be disconnecting and reconnecting. I do apologize about that. I don't know what's going on with OBS. Just OBS doing OBS things. So the stream will stop for 3 seconds, but it will go back again, as Omega Dragons is going to have another player taken out. I think it's going to leave them down to just 2, Sebi and Antifa. You do have 4 Romanian men, have Dennis inside Camp Alpha. The circle has shifted up north. The Red Reserve going in another fight with Konina Power. Yeah, Godsend third party in Konina Power early on, but the revive did get executed, leaving Konina Power still with 3 players up. Novaz in the sniper tower. Whiskey gonna get taken down by one of the members of Godsend. Victor on the flank side, which is nicely positioned, but will he be able to get the job done? He's gonna confirm that kill onto Robadini as Gonzo Nazer. I'm gonna be out in the open. That's gonna be Victor striking. Victor striking on top of the rock to take down Gonzo, leaving Konina Power with 1 player left standing. I love the fact that Red Reserve are being just a little bit more aggressive outside the circle, looking to take out as many people and eliminate their opponents from the blue zone. As they move in though, will Azer be able to stab them in the back? He's taking a lot of tick damage from the phase 5 blue zone. How will phase 6 go? They'll have to move their way across the road. I can't help but feel as the circle does shift over. BFF on the high ground might be looking to take advantage, but no! The compound of Red Reserve are in! It's still inside the circle. It means they can heal up. They can prepare. They can look to try and take control of this circle. You do still have the edge of Camp Alpha, though. That's where it will benefit Omega Dragons. Godsend are also still in this game as a 3-man team, only losing Rolkus, Zolkus. Leaving Reeves, Navy, and Marley up. They are pretty much the furthest away from the circle, but because Acer can't really do anything on his own, it's given plenty of space for Godsend to go in through Camp Alpha, which is probably the wisest thing to do. Zebby gets dropped to his knees. Antifa is now on his own. Dennis is camping in the corner. They did that in game 1, and it didn't really work out for them, and that's going to be Marley. Marley just driving in to get the final blow onto Omega Dragons. Dennis has waited out. MVP go down as well. 5 teams left standing. BFF, Red Reserve, Konina Power make that 4 Romanian men. Godsend, BFF and Red Reserve. Full squad for Red Reserve. Full squad for this French side. As Godsend come in on the edge of the Camp Alpha compound, the corner side wall. The circle goes out in the open in between the compound and Camp Alpha. The roadside splitting 50-50 as BFF trying to heal up. Dennis does get taken down. Now we're down to 3. Although I can't help but feel that 2-pack has nowhere to go, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. But he does strike from the sidelines from behind to knock down Red Reserve, and that's going to send the message for Godsend to create that smoke wall and make their way on the wall down by the side of Camp Alpha. But with Frost, even though he's taking the blue zone damage, he has that flank. He will have to move down. Red Reserve yet to throw out the smokes. They are throwing out the grenades to try and push back Godsend. Frost, if you can make your way in close to the circle to get a slightly better angle onto Godsend, it could really pay off. 4v3. Frost goes down though at the hands of Marley. It becomes a 3v3 battle on the outskirts of Camp Alpha. Phase 8 shows up. Another drop down by Reeves onto Callista. Makes it a 3v2. Look at the angles. Look at the positioning by Godsend. Marley Gonna try and confirm the kill. Another grenade onto Novas. He just doesn't stop being accurate with those grenades. Now leaves a 4v1. A grenade gets thrown up in the air, and Red Reserve get eliminated. Godsend come in from the high mountainside. They took it slow and steady. They were the turtles of this Sandhawk game, and they won the race. They got the chicken dinner, and they secured themselves 10 kills along the way. Marley with 5 alone. That's a spicy meatball, man. That is a spicy meatball indeed. They're still doing a good job of finishing second, but maybe they could have taken a bit more control in some areas. But I like what they were doing against Kanina Power, because taking away that area away from Kanina Power, taking out Kanina Power, secured that area. And yeah, it was just one of those things where Frost was taking a big risk being where he was. I got that flank position, but I don't know, where were the smokes from Red Reserve? That's the thing. The lack of smokes really hurt them, because if they had been able to throw out the smokes, I don't know if they had them, but if they had have thrown out multiple smokes, okay, there would have been much less security on those grenades connecting, because they would have been able to move around those grenades. They might not have seen them, but they would have been able to move around, and there would have been a higher chance of avoiding those grenades. But because they were a pinch individually behind trees, they weren't really able to move around, and it made the grenades so much easier. And now, saying that, Marley, the accuracy with those grenades was just absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful indeed. BFF, third place, 6 kills. Again, one of the teams that came in from the northwest side, and you know, it was a weird circle overall. It was a weird finish. We rarely see that kind of position in play. I haven't seen it in quite a while competitively. I've seen it in scrims where it's ended around the Camp Alpha region, but I haven't really seen it in competitive. So it is a rarity. 4 Romanian men in 4th. 4 kills, overall not bad. Kanina Power in 5th with 2, 3, 4, 5 kills. You had MVP in 6th with 2 kills. You had Omega Dragons in 7th with 3, 4, 5, 6 kills. You had Polar Ace in 8th with 3 kills. Bloodline in 9th with 2 kills. You had Mizexus in 10th with 3 kills. You had Time to Shine in 11th with 6 kills. Will getting 5. Wow. Team Push in 12th with 1 kill. You had Inside Games in 13th with 2 kills. You had Yakuza in 14th with 1 kill. You had Sirens in 15th with 1 kill. I think you had going down to Time to Shine. That's why part of the reason why Will has 5 kills. And Gun in 16th with 1 kill indeed. Oh man, what a way to end game 2. What a Sandhawk game. I like Sandhawk games. I like Sandhawk games indeed. Nicely done by Godsend, coming back off going down in 16th in game 1 to get the chicken dinner in game 2. So on that note, we are going to go for a bit of a break, but I will be back for game 3 out of 4. I don't know what map it's gonna be, so stick around for possibly a pleasant surprise. I totally didn't spill coffee before I was just about to go back off break. I totally didn't. Okay, I did. It wasn't a lot of coffee, but I spilled coffee. So yeah, game 3, Miramar baby. Miramar on the wall. Who's gonna be the winner of this ball? The ball that is Miramar. So yeah, it's actually best one would be Miramar on the wall. Who's gonna be the last of the teams to fall? That would have been better, but oh well. So getting into this game 3, playing trajectory is quite down south, going from the north to the south. Well, obviously the very I would even say the southeast down to the southwest.
I'll be the son of a gingerback gorilla. We have a new subscriber. Thank you for your support. Have an awesome time.
Man, Keys with the 2-month subscription. Dude, thank you so much, man. Oh, man. Thank you so much, Keys. Dude. Thank you so much, Keys, for the sub, man. Really appreciate it, dude. Really appreciate it. Man, much love to you, Keys. Never forget. I'll tell you what, Keys, I don't know if you're in chat. I hope you are, but I was looking on the Tyra's put a picture up on his Twitter today, so I happened to just check through his timeline, and I was just looking back at some of the vainglory memories esports wise, and those are the days, so to speak, but those were the days indeed. I'll tell you what is also the days of this circle being so heavily down the southeast. Look at that. Now, on one hand, it's complemented the playing trajectory, because look at the amount of teams that are hanging around Los Leones. I'm definitely going to have to pan it over to there. You have Mizexis, Inside Games, you have Yakuza, even the Sirens down on the south side of, although they are definitely a little bit further apart. One of the members of Inside Games has been taken out. That's going to be, I think, Backfire. And then also Mizexis had somebody taken down, I think, by 4 Romanian men. This is wild, baby. Wild as the wind blows. Like, I just kind of don't get why you split drop around this area. Because I thought that was like, 4 Romanian men as well. So 4 teams in one area of Los Leones. That is absolutely crazy. Of course, Mizexis have probably been the biggest losers of this, going down to just 2 players. Although, as I say, that Sands going down does leave leaves it. Well, actually, no, because they still have Seo and Dale up as well. So, but they are definitely quite far apart. Peace is trying to make his way closer to his teammate Halls. That would definitely be quite beneficial and help Mizexis' journey to survive in this game. Before Romanian men, they're pushing forward. They want to take control of this Los Leones area. Pieces up on the high ground of the scaffold. Scaffold / construction area. It's a relatively solid area to be in, even though it is out in the open. You're still able to protect yourself quite nicely. WS trying to fire directly upwards as Dennis makes his way up the stairs, waiting. Nice grenade being thrown up. Not quite cooked heavily enough. I'm definitely surprised it didn't get the knockdown on the Peace, but now Peace is going to have that. M4 does get a knockdown, but as he jumps down the building, he falls from grace. Oh, feels bad, man, indeed. Feels bad, man, because he done a great job to get that knockdown onto a member of 4 Romanian men, who I think did get confirmed. Yeah, Dennis got confirmed. Wow. So this leaves Halls on his own for Mizexis. Wow. Okay, let's have a look at where the other teams are. Very easy for Red Reserve. Although, I feel like they're going a little bit too close to Los Leones. Nova's going forward. That's kind of okay. They're going to join up with the rest of Red Reserve around the Impala area. Sirens. I don't know what happened to you, Cakes, but feels bad, man. You okay there, Cakes? Hey, Cakes. Hey, Cakes. Hey, Cakes. You okay? What happened? What happened, Cakes? I know you can't hear me, but what happened? What happened, Cakes? Did you fall from the vehicle? Did you fall from the building? What happened to you? Anyway, this is what I was kind of thinking with Red Reserve. You know, are they going too close to Los Leones? They have gotten a member confirmed on that rotation. Like, you know, when the plane path is down on the southeast and you land on Impala, yeah, not a load of teams are going to be in that direction, but the law of percentages is that there's going to be more teams closer to where you're rotating to if you go there, and that's where Red Reserve went. And yeah, only one player has got knocked down, but I feel like that could have been avoided. You know, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I just feel it could have been avoided. That's the thing. That's the thing, indeed. Cunita Power landed in Picado. I'm going to move their way across. Godsend are still in San Martin / Hacienda. Bloodline on the high ground of Power Grid. This is all standard places where they all like to drop. Same with Time to Shine around the La Bandita area. This is all really standard, you know, run-of-the-mill stuff. BFF, I think, going close to the center circle is a bit unusual. Of course, I'm with Mizexus onto Yakuza. This is different because we don't normally see Mizexus in these kind of scrims. MVP getting close to Kanina Power. This is another little bit of an unusual thing because we don't normally see Kanina Power in these scrims. But it's nice to see this level of difference. So, sorry, it's not Kanina Power. It's Team Push. My apologies. My apologies. My apologies. Similar color. I thought it was Kanina Power. Didn't really look at the tags. Either way, Team Push. Going to be looking to push in on towards MVP. Might see Senzo go on top of the roof. That might be a good idea. Because with Akashi on the high ground up the hill, if you can try and bait Team Push to go on the side of that building, that could really pay off. However, Sportsman is doing a little bit of a similar strategy, and he's going to get dropped by Tika. Where is Tika? Wow, Tika is far away when you think about it, but it's paid off because Sportsman gets stabbed in the back from behind. And I don't really blame Sportsman for that from Team Push because you just don't expect it, right? You just don't expect it indeed. Grenade's being cooked up by Team Push. They'll try and recover from this. They don't have that sight line in the background, so they're going to have to be even more careful of how they play this. Sticking into the building would definitely be viable. CLW missing that Molotov. Instead of it going through the window, it went on towards the side of the building. Tries to go down. He's going to get dropped to his knees. Bobby and Mario. To me, Bobby. To me, to Mario. Drops down Danny. But Senzo comes in to get that knockdown and leaves Mario, the last player standing. Let's see if he can plumb his way to victory in this game. Kill being confirmed on the CLW. Bobby is still knocked down. Mario going to the other side of that building. Never mind the fact that Tika is coming in from the sideline as well. However, as Akashi moves across closer to that building, nice strike by Mario to get that off angle knockdown. Medkit being used to try and stay at 75. Actually, no, that's 100% health. Reloads AKM. Having a little bit of a pickle, a little bit of a pinch, but this great grenade. Could it surprise MVP? Or was it smoke? It was a smoke. But now in comes in the back line. Mara's going to get put down to very low health by Tika. Nice positioning by Tika. But just about first aid coming through. Knockdown. One strike. Not the second strike. And he's out. Team Push are eliminated in 15th spot. An MVP will get the revive up and continue as a full squad. Akashi was not confirmed. The blue zone is closing at phase 1. We also saw Kunina Power, I think, get into a little bit of a battle with Time to Shine. But I think Time to Shine won that. They did indeed. Kunina Power have been eliminated. They were the ones to go down in 16th. Whoa, 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 whoa. Bloodline. Bloodline wrapping around are now going to look to take an attack onto the members of MVP while they're still recovering. They did indeed lose Akashi. They did indeed lose Akashi, and now Tika is going to get knocked down. Will not get confirmed. That was a risky reposition by Tika without any real smokes, and that's going to really give Bloodline a chance to close in onto the members of MVP. Kappahala on one side, you have All In on the other side. Not quite together as I would like to have seen on that push. That's where I might go against Bloodline. All In, trying to suppress and create the space for Kappahala. Now it's going to be 2v2 inside this building where we saw a battle against Team Push previously. Danny is going to be on his own, going to be able to get that knockdown on the All In. But he's so low in health. And then comes Norfen from the high ground to say sayonara, konnichiwa, and MVP are going to get put 6 foot under in the same location where they took down Team Push. What a battle in the building, in the compounds. Wow. Amazing stuff. Phase 2 did go quite a bit to the east, but also did center into the mainland a lot more heavily. So it is a nice phase 2 circle shift. It means pretty much all the teams are inside the circle, and any team that isn't outside the circle, there's a relatively decent amount of space for them to move in. We won't see too many teams reposition based on the circle shift, other than just naturally moving your way possibly kind of closer to an opponent, closer to the center of the circle. You see Polar Ice are up on the high ground to the south side of Los Leones. Let's pan on over to them. And then you have Sirens, to the west side of Los Leones, which is great high ground positioning as well, although they did lose Yatam, which means the 3 players left in their team. It's going to be harder holding on to an open position. The good thing is they're able to get information, so preparing for any kind of circle shift on phase 3 and avoiding action can in theory be a little bit easier for them. We all know there is the positives and negatives, the risks and the rewards of being out in the open. Yakuza? 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 Oh, Yakuza. 1 for Omega Dragons, 1 for Sirens. Yakuza go down. Honestly, I was like, there's just no point in saying any more about it. Just Yakuza? Yakuza. Now, the interesting thing is that there is still plenty of space to the east coastline between Impala and Puerto Priso, right? So, if the circle shifts over even to the west, it means that in theory the teams that are outside the circle can still use that coastline to come in on towards the high ground and behind Gun and Red Reserve. Or you can obviously see a lot of teams will already be inside the circle. So, we'll have to wait and see. Still hanging around Los Leones in phase 2 is, in my opinion, very city by 4 Romanian men. You don't really want to be in Los Leones past phase 1. Okay, phase 2, fair enough, but that's phase 2 when the circle is kind of either on the very edge of Los Leones or not in Los Leones at all. Whereas when it's quite competently inside the circle, as in the whole of Los Leones is inside phase 2, you're taking a huge risk, especially when you have 3 players left in your side. You can use those 3 sets of eyes to slowly move your way out of Los Leones. Yeah, okay, they are on the south edge or they're closer to the edge, so in theory it's not the worst thing in the world, but they're banking on the next phase staying in Los Leones or being so heavily outside of it that they do have more space to move out of Los Leones, because a lot of teams will be repositioning. like, for Hall's the last player of his exes, it makes sense for him to stay in Los Leones because he's going to be amongst all those buildings. Oh, ho, 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 ho. That circle shift. 4 Romanian men couldn't ask for a better shift. Now they just have to wait. They don't want to move out just yet. They will want to wait until pretty much the blue zone starts closing in, I would say. So a good minute and a half until they can go closer to the eastern edge of Los Leones, but disengaging away and into the open, like as in closer to the road, is going to be quite risky right now. Godsend going to send their way down the mountainside in towards BFF and Red Reserve. Red Reserve can stay where they are, and in my opinion they would, because they will want to try and take advantage of teams coming in from the west. And if they tried to reposition now, they could get caught out from teams kind of closer to the edge of the circle. Now BFF coming in on one side, Godsend on the other side. I don't like the fact that Novus is out in the open. I get it, but because they lost one player early on, you are really, in my eyes, thinning yourself out, Red Reserve. I kind of get it, but you know, especially because multiple teams are going to be wrapping around you, so you want to stay together. You have plenty of buildings inside that compound. You don't even have to have, you know, 2 members inside that one building. You can easily be inside that small house, Victor inside the long building, and Kliss inside the building that he's in. Roka's got a bit of information and then choose to go back to his team, and I think that's pretty clever stuff from Godsend. They know that, you know, gathering that bit of information is really going to help them. I'm a little bit surprised that they haven't gone instinctively a bit more northwards. But obviously they know the game and they're very confident of how they play it. Omega Dragons are going to get close to Team Gun. Oh, shots being fired by Mamula. Doesn't quite connect on Antifa, but does put Antifa down to the prone down position. Bloodline wrapping in around. You also have the side of Polar Ace further back on the southern edge of the circle. Looking for all in a Bloodline. Grenades being traded out. Not quite connecting fully onto all in. Not quite connecting fully on. Actually, not at all on the Savage X. You also say the last remaining player of Inside Games. With time to shine. Striking onto 4 Romanian men. So 4 Romanian men, honestly, you know, losing 2 players, I still, I think that's okay. Time to shine stuck to the western edge of the circle longer than I thought. Sirens maybe being slow on their rotation, considering they were close to the circle. They actually went around on the you know, outside the circle, and that's going against them as they do lose Luna. They also lose they'd lost Yatam already, so kind of, yeah, not the worst thing in the world, but there's a really big risk they're going to lose multiple vehicles, and they're on the low ground. So Time to Shine, who are on the high ground, are definitely taking advantage of that, and that's where we're seeing, you know, Ali getting knocked down and Cakes is now on her own. That was just definitely Siren should have been quicker on their rotation when they didn't have to make a crazy shift. They should have just stuck to going on the edge of the circle based on the previous phase circle shift. But this one does go up north, still Impala in play. Nobody's going to go into Impala just yet. They could. It wouldn't be a bad idea to hold onto the edge of Impala, because when you look at where it is by this crate drop, as a, oh no, just as I do load in, I just want to give a bit of an idea, right? I know there's a lot of action going on as Gun and a couple of teams are fighting, but actually, yeah, no, I'll tell you about that, because Godsend and Red Reserve are picking off each other, trading in for the compound. Novas was knocked down. Victor and Kliss said Victor is going to get dropped to his knees. Kliss is behind the US. Godsend, it's 4v1. The drive-through coming through. Shots are going to be fired. Pre-firing coming through. Marley on the sideline. No grenades being fired up by Godsend just yet. But now as he tries to trade in out, it's going to be in amongst the smokes. He's gone away, but Reese finds him. That's the end of Red Reserve going out, leaving them empty in Miramar. Godsend will continue as a full squad. They went for the same compound, and there was only going to be one winner, and this time it was Godsend. Omega Dragons on the southern tip of the circle, taking a lot of shots. Sebi, how are you still alive? Naya onto Mamula, third party central? Time to shine, baby! That could help Sebi, and just as I say that, I think that was either Swave or Daddy in the background. Yeah, okay. Either way, Ali from BFF is going to get taken out by Will the Spread by Time to Shine. 2-1-1. It's a bit risky, but credit where it's due. They're taking control of the southern side of the circle in phase 4. And not a kill on the BFF. They're currently on 10. Double digits for Time to Shine. They're playing the edge of Miramar so effectively. Taking players out left, right, and center. 0 fucks given. Next phase goes in the favor of BFF. They've lost 1. They still have 3 up on the eastern side. That rotation by Inside Games and Halls of Mizexis, incredible. Now it's going to be a bit of a 1v1. I don't know if Halls knows that Sans of Inside Games is there, but I'm fairly certain that Sans knows Halls is there. Interesting. Time to Shine. Have to be very, very careful with how to play this. Even though they do have a little bit of space to push it onto a circle, and they're not really under pressure from Godsend for now, because of where they are in that little kind of valley dip area. Anything can happen. Sending Daddy forward to try and find a position inside the circle is good. Now Swave and the rest of the team will go in, still using those vehicles they can as protection. Will now goes forward. The garage in play. Surrounded by roads either side. Godsend on the water towers out in the open, but inside the circle, baby. Vama 69 of BFF chucking out those grenades towards the smokes. We'll have to be aware of what's going on behind them. 7 teams left standing. We do have Polar Ace still in play. It's a 3-man team, but that's going to be Reeves knocking down Whiskey, taking advantage of their circle position. Great play by Reeves, using the information to his advantage. Such a dangerous player. The Irish God himself does what he wants to do when he wants to do it, when he needs to do it. Gets out of the road of the roof area to try and heal up. Elusive and Savage X are still inside this game. 4 Romanian men coming in from the blue, trying to wrap around on the north side. Might take a location inside Impala, because the edge of it is still inside the circle. I think they should have done that. Now Reeves is going to join up with the rest of his team. Edge of circle camping the members of Polar Ace. 4 Romanian men could come in from behind, but they're going to be taken out by Savage X and the Polar Ace squad. Polar bears being an endangered species, well, so are 4 Romanian men, as the circle does shift up north. Hey, I don't want to say that you should have gone to Impala, but I think you should have gone to Impala. We did see Sans go down from Inside Games. Halls now has plenty of space on the western side of the circle. He's going to get into a vehicle. That's a bit of a risk. I don't know why you would. I know you're out in the open, but you could easily just stay prone down. Yeah, blow up that vehicle and just kind of stay out of trouble. Don't make any noise. You know you're making more noise when you're in the vehicle. Time to Shine. Naya onto Atheist. Daddy now coming in towards the side of the building. The garage in play. Who's going to be the fuel for the fire? Giving me that which I desire. Now it's just 2-pack left standing. I know the words I quoted were not a 2-pack song. It was a Metallica song. 2 completely different genres. But could this be 2 completely different teams? It's Time to Shine. Looking for BFF. You also have Naya on the Vama 69. So indeed, 150%. The last player standing for BFF is 2-pack. The Blue Zone's closing in. Time to shine. Have to find a way through. A couple of their players are going to be taken out by the Blue Zone. Daddy's going to have to find a way in, but this could go against them. Out in the open he goes by the side of the road. Godsend, you got to see him. Surely you got to see him. Smoke being thrown out by Daddy. Waiting in the wings. He's going to prone his way down on the edge of the circle. He is yet to be spotted because there's a low dip by the side of the road. The perfect time. The perfect moment. We do lose BFF, of course. 4 teams left standing. Godsend. The side of Polar Ace, Mizexus. And time to shine. Can I also just give a little bit of a shout out to Halls? The fact that he has survived from the very start within the first 4 or 5 minutes of this game as a one-man army in Miramar, baby, of all maps, to get into the top 4. It's rare you see it, and it's great to see. What's great to see for Godsend is they've been able to take out Time to Shine, which means as they push in on towards this circle area, they can throw the smokes out.
Thank you for the follow, and welcome to the Ginger Club.
They're going uphill. They have that downhill area with the hay bales and the tractor in play with the smokes, and of course even the airdrop, that they could survive. It's not going to be easy. They have the man advantage in theory over the 2 other teams, and they should know this, right? Because 7 players alive, they know they have 4. That however many teams it is, it's guaranteed to have that man advantage. Sending it in, Reese is going to be able to make it through. First in line could be the first to shoot, but Savage X knocks down Marley. That was always going to be a bit of a risk. Grenade being fired up by Reese to try and create that space. Risky using the dip on the side of the little rock and play to try and fire towards the members of Godsend. A grenade by Savage X puts Reese down to a sliver of health. He's not going to stop trying to push back the members of Polar Ace, and that makes complete sense. We also did lose another player. Oh, no, sorry. We didn't lose another player of Godsend. I thought we had. Navy and Rolkus, Reese left standing for Godsend. 3v2v1. Hall's holding on by the skin of his teeth for dear life. A Savage X knocks down Rolkus. Whiskey prone down. He has the high ground information, but more of his body is, of course, somewhat exposed. The circle, I think, has gone into favor of Godsend. Reese is not proning down. He knows he has to push back the members of Godsend. Navy on the Savage X leaves Whiskey on his own. Hulls could be a thorn in the side for Godsend if he finds any of those members, but Whiskey now gonna chunk a hell of a lot of the Blue Zone. Savage X gets confirmed. Will that be able to come on through? No, it won't. It's Godsend looking for a second chicken dinner in a row. Hulls is able to knock down Navy, but that is gonna be too much for what? What? No, no way, what? What just happened? What just happened? Ms. X's won. Halls put it out of the bag. 5 kills. 6 in total for Ms. X's. I'm a little bit speechless. And I'm not even just being dramatic. I'm seriously wondering how that happened. Because I saw like it happened like that I was like, surely Godsend just had the man advantage. I know there's the surprise element where I think Navy got dropped by Hulls, but unless the Blue Zone chunked down Reeves, what the hell? What, like, I'm seriously wondering what happened. Okay. Oh, Godsend in second, getting 5-7 kills. I thought that was going to be their second chicken dinner in a row. And Polaris coming in third with 4 kills. They did use the edge of Impala in the end for their advantage. Time to shine in fourth place with a heavy amount of kills. 9, 10, 12 kills for them, double digits. BFF in fifth with 3 kills. You had 4 Romanian men in 6th with 2 kills. You had Inside Games in 7th with 3 kills. You had Bloodline in 8th with 5 kills. You had Sirens in 9th with 1 kill. You had Omega Dragons in 10th with 4 kills. You had Gun in 11th with 2 kills. You had Red Reserve in 12th with 0 kills. Yakuza in 13th with 1 kill. MVP in 14th with 4 kills. Team Push in 15th with 0 kills. And Konina Power in 16th with 0 kills. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna have to look back on the end of that game live on my stream because there's a 3-minute delay, just to in some way try and process what happened. Because I'm gonna see if I have it here so I can at least kind of see. Okay, so I'm currently showing it. Let me see if I can just bring a full screen. I don't. Oh, okay, I didn't see it. No. Yeah. I don't know how that happened. PUBG Mobile? That's all I'll say. Like, I'm full on kind of speechless. Like, I'm full on speechless. I'm gonna have to ask Halls how that happened because my mind is definitely a little bit blown. But on that note, as I try and recover from that, I'm gonna go for a break and we'll be back for the last game of the evening in the Zenith ProEU Scrims. Don't go away. Oh my god. Okay, so kind of good news is that I might be able to show you the video from the last game of the day. Yeah, I will show you that after the last game. You know, I want to show you the video of Hall's perspective, basically, of how he won that last game in Miramar. I know he'll probably post it on social media himself, but he did send it to me. So I have it on my phone. But yeah, like yeah. You know what? I think I'll show it now. I just have to show it now. So I'm going to I can do it on this, and I can 2 seconds. I'm going to add a window capture, and I can add this. Okay, so you should be able to see this. This is essentially my computer, and you should be able to see this. Okay, so I'm gonna show you this, and I'm going to see this, and I'm going to show you this bit, which you won't be able to hear the sound, I don't think, but you might be able to at least see what happened. So that's how he got the kill. Okay, on the inside games, I think that's how he got the kill on the inside games, and this is how he won the game. So he snaked his way. He told me that he was looking and he saw Godsend for quite a while, but he wanted to wait. He was able to get one kill. He got another kill, and that was a 1v2 because the third player of Godsend had got knocked down from the blue zone, and that's how he won the game. What a way for that game to be won. Like that's insane. That is insane. Like, you know what? See, okay. That's like, yeah. Like that's insane. That's actually insane. That's insane. But anyway, okay, getting back into this game. Talking about Halls. Halls going on to Sirens with the whole of Mizexis in play. Seen a couple of players go down. Luna's gonna get taken down. The whole of Sirens is gonna get taken down, and Halls is on an absolute run with the Tommy gun, with an AKM, with a grenade. It doesn't really matter. He's gonna work his ass off to get the job done for his team. What, like, I know these are only scrims, but come on, like, come on, Halls, fucking relax, please, mate. Yakuza and Bloodline in Pachinki. Yakuza don't normally drop in Pachinki too much. They tended to avoid the area, and now Bloodline are gonna have to be aware. Kapala going up the stairs, a 3-stack. Bloodline onto Luco, onto Mido. That's going to be a lovely knock, and a double knock coming through. It's going to leave just one player left standing. Uzi for Yakuza. Up on top of the building, and very, very open, and he's very little area to go. Going to jump back down on the outskirts, and he's going to get taken out by North and suppressed, pushed down, and shut to the ground. That's the end of Yakuza. 14 teams left already in this last game of the day. I'm just like, I don't know if this last game can match what we saw in the third game. I'm sorry. I just don't know if it can. But I'm just gonna turn on my LED, so if you see my face flashing different colors and you're wondering what happened, that's it. Like, I just don't know. I just don't know. Okay. So with this phase 1 circle, it's a little bit similar to the phase 1 circle we saw in the first Erangel game. It's actually very similar, so it means it's going to be much and muchness in terms of rotation for Red Reserve. Time to Shine are still in around the mansion area, which is fair enough. We do still have Godsend in farm. And we see Kanina Power are going to be moving their way over to Milton. I think maybe Godsend got a bit of confidence from the last couple of games and realized, hey, look, you know, we can stay hold of farm because Kanina Power tend to move on over to Milton. I think that kind of makes sense, and they should be confident of their position to hold on to the farm area. Of course, Gun was able to at least take down a couple of members of Kanina Power, as far as I know. One member, Gonzo. So it's just Tixie and Robadini. Acer didn't seem to join, but Robadini from the back line on the Herbs puts it down to 2v2. Smoke's being thrown out. Try and give a little bit of cover to Mamula. Grenade by Robadini. Robadini gets dropped. He was out in the open. Took a risk. And it went against him. But now Godsend are coming in to try and grab hold of Mill. Did they want to eliminate as many players? Maybe seek revenge. Use the anger they felt onto the loss in Miramar to take out as many bodies. Of course, Reese got dropped. And that's the surprise. That's the element of what can happen if you're moving onto a compound with any real information, especially when Reese is on his own, and that, you know, the risk it went against him initially. 3 teams in one area. Godsend now sending Navy wrapping around the other side of Milton. That makes sense because that's going to put more pressure onto Tixie. Tixie can't really go anywhere to the other side of the road because Gun is in front of him, and he's even taking a risk being where he is. He can't crouch up. The second he crouches up, you know, either Mamula or Herbs or Outer are going to see him. But Godsend are focusing very heavily on Gun. That's good for Kanina Power. Navy, you gotta see Tixie. No way, he doesn't see Tixie. And that's a bit of a surprise considering the fact that, although he's thinking, you know, he's clearly thinking Tixie could be in the house. So he doesn't really want to go too close to her. Threading with caution, Godsend are right now. 3v3-1 in this build a battle. Just insane. Just insane. We also see in the kill feed BFF on the MVP. I know this battle is going to ensue really soon. Like, the good thing is that, you know, Mamula in that backline is just going to be able to provide a lot of information. And, you know, he's prone down, yeah, but that TPP perspective is giving him a solid amount of information where Godsend might be. Like, or not where Godsend might be, but kind of the actual position on Godsend. And Navy, realizing he can't do much where he was, is now going to join up on the other side and come in and towards Milta. Now, of course, the longer they leave it, the harder it's going to be. Yeah, okay, we're down to 14 teams and 49 players, but look at the amount of, you know, real estate that's been taken out from... Okay, it's not really that much, so I'm over-exaggerating to be fair to myself. MVP, yeah, they sent one player forward that got taken out by BFF around the school and apartments area. Mizexis, who eliminated Sirens on the outskirts of Rozhawk. Just moving in closer to the center of the circle. Bloodline now taking another fight against Omega Dragons. Time to Shine also on the Inside Games. Let's see what Daddy is doing. Oh, Daddy. We're for our Dow Daddy. Our Dow Daddy is on his knees. Now, will he be able to stay alive? In the rest of his team are looking to try to somewhat provide a bit of support. Naya going in with the buggy is a bit of a risk. Will on to Seo to confirm that kill. That's good for Time to Shine. Getting that revive onto Swave. Now getting a revive onto Daddy, but Backfire chuck a grenade. Not quite in the right direction. I get where Backfire was thinking on that, but now another one is going to come through. That should confirm Daddy once again. And now as Naya is going to be left on his own across the road. Another knockdown by Sands onto the members of Time to Shine. Swave dropped to his knees once again, but in comes Naya to clutch it up against Backfire, create a little bit of space for, oh no, but in comes Dale from behind to confirm Naya, take him down, and what a wraparound by Dale. It was a risk. Of course, the reward is the fact that able to surprise Time to Shine and leave Time to Shine with 2 players. Just, you know, nice adaptive play by Inside Games. As I said, you are taking a risk, Dale, you know, when you go in on your own like that. So was Naya. And they both executed those kind of rotations and flanks quite well. It was executed better for Inside Games. And Backfire, you know, I think he had to go forward to distract Naya, because if he had been a bit more passive, Naya could have looked around him and have spotted Dale. So that was really good play by Backfire, and I really feel that was strong communication overall by Inside Games. Definitely not out of the woods just yet. Phase 2 has shifted up northwards. Red Reserve going a bit closer / into Yasnaya Polyana compared to other situations. I think that's because they know nobody goes to Yasnaya from this lobby confidently, and that's good. Being on the outskirts, it's a compound that's the high ground of Yasnaya, so it's not quite in the city. I still think maybe that's it. No, that's strong considering, you know, Phase 2 is quite heavily towards Stalbar. So a lot of teams coming in from the south side. You have like Polar Ace, you have Team Push. Those rotations are very, very risky. And I think Polar Ace are kind of aware of that now. Omega Dragon's going to be crashing in on the same compound as a couple of members of Polar Ace. Will they look to disengage away? I think they are. They're disengaging away. Omega Dragons shakes their fist and says, "Get off my lawn. Get off my lawn." Mizexus, where they moved to initially on Phase 1, will be pretty clean for Phase 2. What I would recommend is, you know, right now they're on the high ground, so they have a decent bit of information between the south, the west, north, and the east. What I would recommend is they move a bit more north to that compound, and then what they could do is they could have 2 members or 3 members in that compound and 1 member on the high ground, so they have information a bit more noticeably to the north and to the west, because that circle shifting in from the west means that, you know, in theory they don't know it. Yeah, I know it. I know there's no teams to the west, but trying to take the mindset of they won't know it, you're preparing a bit more for a team potentially coming in from the west. MVP getting close to Yasnaya, so our BFF are in Yasnaya as our Team Push. But Team Push are definitely in a better Yasnaya position, in my opinion, overall. Like, BFF are on the west side of Yasnaya in those 2 huge buildings, so that kind of makes sense. But it's still a bit of a risk. They're looking for Red Reserve. Red Reserve only started as a 3-man team. No Callista for this last game of the day, or K-Last. Time to Shine are gonna get taken out by Inside Games at the end, and this is a battle that'd be going on for quite a bit. And in the end, it's Inside Games that win it. Could have gone either way, and it went in the favor of Inside Games. Did Godsend get eliminated? I don't know exactly what happened to Godsend, but as far as I know, between Godsend and Cunning and Power, they just took between Gunnan and Cunning and Power, they took out Godsend. Bit of an F in the chat for Godsend, boys. I don't know exactly what happened there because I wasn't panning on over to it, but yeah. Bloodline coming in from Potato Hill area in the direction of the compound that Omega Dragons holds on to. It's high ground, so they're able to get some great sightlines, but Omega Dragons are inside those buildings, so they're kind of overall well protected. Both teams are inside the circle, so it's not going to be too bad. It's going to be overall easy for both teams to reposition depending on the circle shift. Like for Bloodline, having Kapahala closer to the school area, circle shifts down south. I would recommend, if Bloodline have the information, crashing onto the compound of Omega Dragons. In my opinion, they're a bit too far away to that compound there. Mizexis should move down to that compound, or Polar Ace if they can. Polar Ace could stay in that compound close to Mizexis. It's gonna be it's gonna be a bit harder for Reserve because a lot of the real estate that is now inside the circle is taken by teams, so they might have to stick to that north circle position outside Yasnaya. BFF are going for a risky but rewarding push into that compound that I recommended Mizexis move to, or Mizexis move to initially, but Polar Ace are up on the high ground overlooking them. 4 Romanian men are close by as well, so there's a few squads around here. Even the last player of Cunning of Power is in the field on his own. He's not going to be able to do too much, but could be a bit of a distraction. Yeah, he's not going to do anything now because he's been spotted out by BFF. The good thing for Polar Ace is that Maskoff is in that compound overlooking BFF, which is a higher ground, so you're able to suppress the members of BFF, create a bit of a distraction, and hopefully allow the rest of the Polar Ace team to be a bit more aggressive towards either the rest of BFF or even 4 Romanian men. The thing is that if Mizexis choose to move down that hill into that compound, that could really take a huge element of Polar Ace's strength right now in the circle. Blue zone's closing in the next couple of seconds. Raiders are slowly going down a bit closer to the coastal line of the Yasnaya River. Gun and Bloodline fighting in that compound over Gun, but Gun do get taken out. Gun decided to go for that rotation, which made sense in my eyes. But Bloodline were there, and Bloodline reacted accordingly. Only losing all in. It will make it harder for them to now rotate because you only have 3 players up. But at least they've been able to pick up a couple of kills. They're on 8 so far in this game. Really strong kill game from them. Of course, eliminating Yakuza, eliminating 2 members of Gunna, and then I think a couple of other players. I don't know exactly who else they killed. MVP, wow. That rotation going across from the north side of the river down to the south side. Very lucky. I think it's part of the reason why they've been able to execute that quite effectively is simply because of the fact that there's only 10 teams left and 35 players. At 80-minute mark in Erangel, that's very rare. You just wouldn't really see that in competitive, so it makes sense, and they're of course going to benefit from that because of that circle shift. Very tricky. Edge of Roshawk still in play. Definitely recommend that area for Polar Ace to rotate to. They can easily wrap around MVP without really being bothered too much. But are MVP going to go for that position or stay where they are? Mizexis moving down to the compound from the high ground, which great because they had quick and easy information on that. Quicker than Omega Dragons, but Omega Dragons sending Muhuto to that little building that is just out in the open of the apartment area, and you're banking on the next phase because look how open it is. Moving away from this location, should the circle shift away, is going to be so much more difficult. But I get why Omega Dragons are doing it, because it's just as difficult if you commit to apartments or school to disengage away from those areas. You just have a bigger area to play around with when you do go to apartments. Inside Games going to be wrapping around as well, going to be going in between Omega Dragons and Bloodline. At least they can use the buildings of apartments to kind of avoid some of the shots coming through from Bloodline. They are going to look to stick to apartments, and again, I get it because the lack of people on the lobby, lack of players, and it just kind of, it's going to work. Zest is picking up more kills onto the members of BFF. Vama 69 on his own. He's going to get knocked down. You have Asus on the high ground further back, but he's not really going to be able to do nothing. And that's really a bit of a weak send by BFF overall. Mizexus will be able to get those revives up and continue on in this game. 6 kills. I feel like that BFF, if you're going to breach onto a compound like that, you want to do it all or nothing. Having one player in the background at this late stage of the game, even though there is only 32 players, it's half-arse. It's overall half-arse, guys. This will benefit Polar Ice all the same, though, because one, they'll have heard those shots from the compound, and two, less focus on where they are, so they can move a bit closer to the circle. That's why Savage X has gone down with those shots in the Mini 14, looking for CLW. Team push not quite connecting with the Mini 14. It's enough to at least force CLW to use a first aid kit. They are coming in from the blue zone, and that's where Polar Ace have to join up as a full squad. Mario! Why are you going so wild so early? And then you have Sportsman, one by one, decide a team push. What is that? God, if you're going to push in as a team, push in as a team. Oh man, you gotta make sure that those kind of engagements are so to the point and connected and synergized that you give no room for the opposing team to pick you off one by one. Oh, feels bad, man. Team push feels bad. Red Reserve have been able to come in from the west side of Rossok, and that makes sense because they were able to come in on the river of Yasnaya and just hug that coastal line. And as it's low ground, they avoided like the 4 Romanian men, Polar Ace, etc. MVP. Bloodline choosing to go into the hill of Rossok, which I think is very risky on phase 5. I think it would have been much better for them to go to, you know, even go into apartments, because it's not like apartments is super low ground. You're able to get a valid amount of information. But I think because I'd seen Inside Games or a team go there, they weren't too sure. Of course, this becomes so much harder for Inside Games. Omega Dragons have reacted really nicely to that circle shift.
Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Ginger Club.
Sending 2 members to that shack and having 1 member in the back line, so they're able to at least try and create a little bit of information and sightline. This is where Bloodline are now going to full send it in on towards the members of Omega Dragons. JR Crew got to Norfen in amongst the smokes. That's going to be a confirmed kill. That's going to be Bloodline not full sending it. Also, Inside Games are going to lose 2 players. I think that was just a last-ditch attempt for Bloodline to try and stay in this game, and they're going to be taking out 7 teams left standing. So far as the circle is going to show up, and it does indeed. It centers up quite nicely with MVP inside the circle. The only compound that's in play as Mizexis are going to have to try and move out. Elusive on the halls. That roof play is always risky coming into phase 5, phase 6 onwards. Lisa Revive will be nicely executed. They have 40 seconds until this blue zone closes in. Polar Ace out in the open on their rotation. At least they are full squad, so they can do what they can to move their players one by one, get the information, those 4 pairs of eyes. And you know, the good thing is that, okay, not the good thing now, it's going to be a bit harder, but overall still the good thing is that they can come in behind MVP and 4 Romanian men in some way, shape or form, because I can't but feel that those teams are going to be either focused on each other or focused on the teams that are to the south of them. It also could benefit Red Reserve too, but they're kind of coming in from the high ground, so it's going to be a little bit harder as they move downhill. Mizexis onto Omega Dragons. JR Crook, man. You are just absolutely dominating this shack along with Antifa. Peace gets confirmed. Halls, Malum, and Raspu. That's going to be a knock. That's going to be a Groza kill. That's going to be a squad wipe. And you know what? That push only losing 1 player. Successful from Mizexis. But now as all these teams make their way into that one compound and play, the circle shifts up north. Red Reserve have been able to make their way down the hill outside Rozhawk as a 3-man team. Polar Ace are in a spot of bother. Maskov trying to get the revive onto Elusive. 4 Romanian men are going to get eliminated by Red Reserve and Polar Ace. Together, Savage X gets the job done. Able to stave off the pressure while the revive by Maskov is going to get put onto Elusive, although in saying that MVP turns around. Danny knocking down Maskov. Grenades are being flying by Mizexis. They're the only team that are outside the circle. 4 teams left standing. Frost is on the wall side in the sidelines of Mizexis, possibly, because he's prone down just on that low dip area, and Mizexis aren't able to spot him just yet. Still a bit of a risk. I get why he's there, because he knows he can't be on the other side of the wall, because that's more the sidelines of MVP and Polar Ace. And now Mizexis spreading themselves across, and I like that. Maybe a little bit too thinly. We'll have to wait and find out. Raspu on the sidelines of the tree. Red Reserve definitely taking a wild push. Surely they hear the shots from Mizexis. Of course, Novus is taking a hell of a lot of damage. They had to come in on while the blue zone is closing. And Frost onto Elusive, but a great grenade by one of the members of Polar Ace. That's Elusive onto Frost and Polar Ace. Wow, Elusive. God, great job. Of course, this is just going to favor Mizexis. It was a 1-man army in the last game that took out the chicken dinner. Could it be Hulls and the 2 other players of the team to get that 3-man finish? They know they have to push in. This is phase 8. Red Reserve still have 3 players up. So 3v3, v2, v1. As much as we lost a load of teams in the first 17 minutes, we still have 9 players up and 4 teams coming into phase 8. Victor gets dropped to his knees with a great grenade by Mizexis. A nice couple of smokes being thrown out by Malum. Defensively coming out while MVP and Polar Ace are going to fight inside the building on the corner side. It is going to go over to Polar Ace with Elusive getting the job done. But as he goes out the window, sure, he's going to get dropped down. That's going to be the end of him. Now comes down to these 2 teams. Victor's on his own. Sorry, not Victor's on his own. Victor's on his knees. So it's a 3v2 as Raspu behind the vehicle. Hall's down, prone down. Malum going to come down to confirmation to take it down. Nova's going to get put down. Down to the ground as Frost is on his own. Nice grenade to knock down Malum. Another one to try and confirm that kill. Never mind the smokes. Just be aggressive, Frost. While you're on your own, Frosty the Snowman. But that's gonna be the end of the game, and Red Reserve turn around and say, anything you can do, Mizexis, I can do better. The saying goes, what goes around comes around. Game 3, we saw Hulls get that 1v2, 1v3 to finish the game. And Frost does the same thing to Mizexis in Game 4. It's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful game. This is why I love PUBG Mobile. Anything can happen, whether it's scrims, whether it's tournaments, whether it's custom rooms. The wild, wild west of PUBG Mobile will always provide the level of entertainment that we love to see. Just beautiful stuff. Red Reserve, chicken dinner, only as a 3-man team with 9 kills. Maybe they should start as a 3-man team in PMCO. No, a joke indeed. Nice win by them. Chicken dinner coming out. Mizexis in second place. Really nice amount of kills. 9, 10, 11, 12 kills. 12 kills. Polar Ace in third with 5, 6, 7 kills. MVP in fourth with 4, 5 kills. 4 Romanian men in fifth with 0 kills. Omega Dragons in sixth with 3 kills. Inside Games in 7th with 5 kills. Bloodline in 8th with 8 kills. Team Push in 9th with 0 kills. BFF in 10th with 2 kills. Gun in 11th with 4 kills. Canina Power in 12th with 2 kills. Yeah, Time to Shine in 13th with 1 kill. You got Sent in 14th with 1 kill. You had a Yakuza in 15th with 0 kills. Sirens in 16th with 0 kills? Just asking. Oh man, what a last game of the day, man! What a last couple of games. You know, what an awesome 4 games. Like, this is, man, that's poggers. Like, this is absolute poggers. I love this, man. I absolutely love it. I love it, man. I just, yeah. I you know, it's not that I'm like super speechless, but. And I know it's my job to kind of talk, but sometimes words don't exactly do justice to how fun a couple of games were, or how just crazy they were. And those last 2 games were definitely pretty crazy. Even the way the circle ended on a lot of those games were quite different. Like, you look at, okay, phase 1 on the 2 Wrangle games were similar, but they ended quite differently. Game 2 in Sanhok, the circle was, yeah, okay, we do see Northwest Island circles in a good few of these games, but we don't see it so heavily on the west at the start and even at the finish. Like, to the west of the mountainside and outside Camp Alpha, it's so uncommon. And then you go over to Miramar, and that finish on Miramar, out in that area outside of Impala, it's very rare. We do see southeast circles, and we have seen it at least in the PMWL in around Port-au-Prince area, but again, it's just not that common, you know. And yeah, then in the last game of the day, that ending outside Roshawk, like I said, it's a little bit common to have it outside Yasnaya, a little bit towards Roshawk, maybe, you know, elements of apartments in play, but that area for that circle finish is just not really too usual. So I love these kind of games where the circles are different. It helps the teams prepare. Yeah, they might not always be taken as seriously, but man, what a great last game, and what a great set of games. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in and sticking with me for today's Zenith ProEU Scrims. Of course, thank you, Amethyst123, for the follow. Much love for the raid. Much love to you, and thank you to everybody who followed today, and for tuning in and sticking with me. Sorry about the disconnects and the reconnects. OBS, I don't know if it's OBS or Restream. I think it was OBS, because my computer, just OBS being a bit of a bitch today. It can happen, like disconnecting and reconnecting once is, yeah, okay, but it did it twice, so that was a little bit annoying. But overall, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. More PMCO EU scrims are going to be coming up, not directly on my channel, but at least I'll be casting a good few of them as all the teams do their best to prepare for the semi-finals starting this weekend, Friday, casted by myself and Maximum. So on that note, I'm going to end the stream. Thank you very much, guys. Have a lovely evening. And I will see you all in another night.